Captain Draven Chorus gazed through the viewport of the TSS Defiant, his weathered face illuminated by the glow of distant stars. Humanity's expansion into the Orion Arm had been relatively peaceful for decades, until today. The emergency transmission from Earth Command still echoed in his mind. Unknown vessels have appeared across our colonial systems. They've opened fire without warning or communication. This is not a drill. We are at war. The Defiant was returning from a deep space survey mission when they received the transmission. As the most advanced prototype vessel in the Terran space fleet, equipped with experimental quantum drive technology and weapons systems that even most admirals didn't know existed, they were now humanity's unexpected wild card. Status report, Chorus commanded, his voice cutting through the tension on the bridge. Lieutenant Commander Turizlek, the ship's tactical officer with distinctive violet eyes, a trademark of those born in the low gravity of Titan, looked up from her console. 27 colonies hit simultaneously. Orbital defenses overwhelmed. No communication established with the aggressors. Any pattern to their attacks? Chorus asked. Chief Science Officer Varric Orson adjusted his augmented reality interface. The tall, thin man had spent years analyzing alien civilizations, but never one that attacked without provocation. They're targeting our communication hubs first, then defense systems. Methodical, like they've studied us. Communications specialist Merrick Stahl, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces, looked up with wide eyes. Captain, they've intercepted an alien transmission. Our quantum processors are translating it now. The bridge crew fell silent as a harsh clicking language filtered through the speakers before the translation overlay began. Turn expansion must be contained. Their technology advances too rapidly. The Council of 12 has declared them an existential threat to galactic stability. Cleanse their colonies. Leave no survivors. They fear us, whispered Chief Engineer Lethon Zuri, her hands clenching around the edge of her console. They're killing us because they're afraid of what we might become. Chorus' expression hardened. Where's the nearest engagement? Navigator Plex Tavros, his cybernetically enhanced hands manipulating the star chart, responded immediately. Proxima Colony. The alien fleet has already destroyed their orbital defenses. Ground invasion has begun. How many enemy vessels? 7 warships. Classification unknown. Chorus nodded slowly, a plan forming in his mind. The Defiant was built for this moment. Not for peace, but for the war everyone hoped would never come. We have technologies that haven't been field-tested yet, but they're our only advantage. Captain, Lex said, her voice steady despite the fear evident in her eyes. Even with our advanced systems, we're 1 ship against 7. Sometimes, Chorus replied, settling into his command chair. It only takes 1 ship to turn the tide, especially when that ship has the element of surprise. He opened a ship-wide channel. All hands, battle stations. Prepare shadow drive for engagement. We're about to show these aliens that they'd made a catastrophic miscalculation. As the crew rushed to their positions, Orson approached the captain. The experimental weapons systems haven't been fully calibrated. Using them could be as dangerous to us as to them. We have no choice, Chorus said grimly. Either we risk everything now or humanity falls 1 colony at a time. The Defiant's engines hummed as they prepared to jump to Proxima Colony. On the bridge view screen, tactical displays showed the slaughter unfolding across human space. Colonies burning. Defense fleets shattered. Millions already dead. Shadow drive engaged, announced Zuri from engineering. Ready under command. Chorus took one last look at the devastating reports coming in from across human space. His voice was steel when he spoke. Jump. The stars blurred as the Defiant vanished into the quantum void, racing toward a battle that would determine whether humanity would survive its first interstellar war or perish at the hands of aliens who had gravely underestimated what 1 human ship could do. The TSS Defiant emerged from quantum space on the dark side of Proxima Colony's largest moon, sensors immediately mapping the battlefield beyond. 7 massive alien vessels, angular constructions of dark metal that seemed to absorb rather than reflect light, hovered in orbit, systematically destroying the colony's infrastructure with precise energy weapons. Shadow drive disengaged, reported Navigator Tavros. We are undetected. The bridge crew watched in horrified silence as the alien ships methodically targeted civilian evacuation shuttles, vaporizing them without hesitation. Those bastards, whispered Lek, her knuckles white as she gripped her console. Captain Chorus' voice remained steady despite the fury in his eyes. Deploy quantum observers. I want complete tactical analysis of their ships, weapons, defenses, propulsion. Chief Engineer Zuri's fingers danced across her controls. Launching observers. Data streaming in now. The quantum observers, microscopic drones designed to phase between dimensions, transmitted detailed scans directly to the Defiant's tactical systems. Three-dimensional holograms of the alien vessels materialized above the bridge's central console. Science Officer Orson studied the data with growing concern. Their hulls contain an alloy we'd never encountered. Energy dispersal capabilities beyond anything in our database. But he paused, brow furrowing. There's a structural vulnerability where their shield generators connect to their power grid. Can we exploit it? Chorus asked. Theoretically, Zuri interjected. The Defiant's quantum torpedoes could disrupt the energy flow if detonated at precisely the right coordinates. But we'd need to get close, dangerously close. Communications specialist all suddenly straightened. Captain, I'm picking up transmissions from the surface. There are still thousands of colonists alive in the underground shelters, but the aliens are deploying ground forces. Chorus nodded grimly. Then we have no time to waste. He activated the ship-wide communication system. All hands prepare for combat. This is what the Defiant was built for. The experimental stealth vessel slipped silently through space, its shadow drive bending light around its hull as it approached the nearest alien warship. Weapons status, Chorus demanded. Quantum torpedoes armed. Phase plasma cannons charged, reported Lieutenant Commander Leck. But Captain, the moment we fire, our shadow drive will deactivate. We'll be exposed. Then we make the first shot count. Chorus leaned forward in his command chair. Target the lead vessel's shield power interface. Calculate torpedo yield to create a cascading failure through their power grid. The bridge crew worked with practiced precision, the product of countless drills that had seemed excessive during peacetime, but now might save humanity. Solution calculated, announced Leck. Torpedo yield optimized for maximum disruption. Fire. The Defiant's shadow drive shimmered and failed as the quantum torpedo launched, streaking toward the alien flagship. For one breathless moment, it seemed the aliens had noticed. Then their ships began to turn, weapon systems charging. The torpedo struck with pinpoint accuracy. Instead of a conventional explosion, it created a localized quantum disruption that rippled through the alien vessel's energy grid. Systems failed in rapid succession as the disruption spread like a virus through their technology. Direct hit, exclaimed Leck. Their power grid is collapsing. The alien flagship listed in space, its weapons going dark as secondary explosions bloomed across its hull. But the remaining 6 ships were now fully aware of the Defiant's presence. Evasive maneuvers. Chorus ordered as energy beams lanced through space toward them. The Defiant spun and dove with impossible agility for a vessel its size, the product of inertial dampeners that existed in no other human ship. Even so, a glancing hit from an alien beam weapon scorched along its port side. Minimal damage to outer hull, reported Zuri. But our shadow drive is offline until repairs can be made. We don't need stealth anymore, Chorus said, a dangerous edge to his voice. They know we're here. Now, let's make sure they regret it. Bring us about for another attack run. Prepare phase plasma cannons. As the Defiant charged toward the alien formation, the bridge crew felt the weight of humanity's survival on their shoulders. The odds were nearly impossible, 1 ship against 6 advanced alien warships. But the alternatives were unthinkable. For Earth, Chorus said quietly as the Defiant's engines roared to full power. And for Proxima, incoming, shouted Leck as alien energy weapons converged on the Defiant from multiple vectors. The ship shuddered violently as emergency systems engaged. Auxiliary power nodes overloaded and cascading failures throughout the vessel. Shields at 42%, reported Zuri, rerouting power through backup systems. Another direct hit like that will compromise hull integrity. Captain Chorus gripped his command chair as damage reports flooded in. Status of phase plasma cannons. Operational but charging slowly due to power fluctuations. Leck responded, her fingers flying across tactical interfaces. 30 seconds to full capacity. On the view screen, the 6 remaining alien vessels moved with coordinated precision, clearly executing practiced combat formations. They were arranging themselves to trap the Defiant in a crossfire. They're adapting to our capabilities, observed Orson, analyzing tactical data. These aren't mindless aggressors, they're experienced warriors. Navigator looked up from his station. "Captain, I've analyzed their movement patterns. There's a 3-second vulnerability in their formation when they reposition. Can you exploit it?" Chorus asked. A faint smile crossed Tavra's face. "Watch me." The Defiant suddenly accelerated to maximum thrust, executing a maneuver that would have liquefied the crew without their advanced inertial dampeners. The ship threaded the needle between two alien vessels just as they were repositioning, momentarily confusing their targeting systems. Plasma cannons charged, announced Select. "Target the nearest vessel's propulsion system and fire," ordered Chorus. The Defiant's main weapons unleashed streams of superheated plasma contained within quantum fields, technology that had been theoretical until the ship's construction. The plasma cut through the alien vessel's defenses, causing catastrophic damage to its engines. The ship began spinning uncontrollably, colliding with another alien vessel in a spectacular explosion. "Two down," said Chorus grimly. "Four to go." But the remaining alien ships had completely surrounded the Defiant, their weapons charging simultaneously. "We can't evade all of them," Tavros warned, his enhanced hands moving frantically across navigation controls. "Full power to forward shields," ordered Chorus. "Prepare to execute Protocol Omega." The bridge crew exchanged alarmed glances. Protocol Omega was an untested theoretical maneuver involving the ship's quantum drive, one that the Defiant's designers had marked as emergency use only, with an estimated 78% chance of destruction of the vessel. "Sir," Zuri's voice wavered slightly, "engaging Protocol Omega could tear us apart at the molecular level." "And what happens if we don't?" Chorus responded, gesturing to the view screen showing the Proxima colony below, where alien ground forces were slaughtering civilians. "Sometimes victory requires risking everything." The alien vessels fired simultaneously, their energy weapons converging on the Defiant from all directions. "Engaging Protocol Omega," called Zuri, overriding multiple safety protocols. The Defiant's quantum drive activated, not to travel through space, but to create a localized quantum field around the ship itself. For a fraction of a second, the vessel existed in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. The alien weapons' fire passed through the quantum field, their energy dispersed across dimensional planes. When the Defiant rematerialized fully in normal space, it was scorched but intact, and the surrounding alien ships had inadvertently hit each other with their own weapons. "Quantum field disengaged," reported Zuri, coughing as smoke filled the engineering station. "Drive systems critical. We won't survive another dimensional shift." "We won't need one," said Chorus, noting the damage to the alien vessels. "Target their weapons arrays while they're recovering. Everything we got left." The Defiant unleashed its remaining quantum torpedoes and plasma burst in a devastating barrage. Two more alien ships exploded in spectacular fireballs, while a third lost all power and began drifting helplessly. The final alien vessel, recognizing defeat, began powering its faster-than-light drive to escape. "They're running," said Lek with grim satisfaction. "Let them." Chorus replied, "Let them return to their masters and report what happened here. Let them spread the word about what one human ship can do." Communications Specialist Stahl suddenly called out, "Captain, I'm detecting transmissions from the alien vessel. They're broadcasting to their entire fleet across all colonies." "Can you intercept?" asked Chorus. "Already done," Stahl replied. "Translating now." The harsh alien language filtered through the bridge speakers before the translation matrix decoded it. "Retreat immediately. The humans possess technology beyond our intelligence estimates. The Terran vessel at Proxima has deployed quantum phase weaponry. The Council's assessment was flawed. We cannot match their capabilities." A moment of stunned silence fell over the bridge before Orson spoke. "They're calling off the invasion. Because of us." "Not just because of us," Chorus corrected him. "Because they've realized what we're capable of. Because they've discovered that humans, when pushed to the edge of extinction, become something they never accounted for in their calculations." As the alien vessels across human space began withdrawing, Chorus looked at his battered crew and damaged ship with pride. The Defiant was built for this moment, to defy the odds, to defy expectations, to defy extinction itself. Beyond the view screen, beyond the retreating alien ships, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter for humanity's future. 3 days after the Battle of Proxima, the TSS Defiant hung in orbit around the ravaged colony, its hull scorched and systems still undergoing emergency repairs. The bridge crew worked tirelessly, coordinating rescue operations for the survivors below while engineering teams struggled to restore the ship's critical functions. Casualty reports from Earth Command announced communications specialist Stahl, her voice hollow with exhaustion. 17 colonies hit, estimated 9 million dead, but billions saved when the aliens retreated. Captain Chorus stood at the viewport, staring at the planet below. Relief efforts were underway, shuttles streaming between the surface and orbit, carrying supplies and evacuating the wounded. The colony had been devastated, but it would recover. Humanity would recover. Any response to our transmission? Chorus asked. Dahl shook her head. Nothing yet, sir. We broadcast the translated alien communications to all colonial governments in Earth Command, but analysis is still ongoing. Science Officer Orson approached, carrying a holographic display of data recovered from the wreckage of one of the destroyed alien vessels. Captain, I've made a breakthrough in decoding their database fragments. They call themselves the Vraxian Dominion, a confederation of species united under a ruling council. And they attacked us because they feared our technological development. Chorus stated, remembering the intercepted transmissions. Yes, but there's more. Orson expanded the holographic display. According to these records, the Vraxians have encountered other civilizations like ours before, species that advance rapidly after discovering faster-than-light travel. They've systematically eliminated 12 such civilizations over the past 1,000 years. Genocide as standard policy. Lieutenant Commander Lex said bitterly, joining them at the viewport. Killing potential rivals before they can become threats. What makes us different? Asked Navigator Tavros. Why did they retreat when other species were completely destroyed? Orson manipulated the holographic data. This is where it gets interesting. The records indicate that every previous species they eliminated developed technology in a predictable pattern. Weapons first, then defenses, then propulsion, followed by communication and stealth. A technological evolution path, Chief Engineer Zuri mused, looking up from her repair diagnostics. But humans, we developed it all simultaneously. Chorus finished the thought. Instead of specializing in one area at a time, we advanced across all fronts. Our quantum drive technology, our weapon systems, our defensive capabilities, they all evolved together. And the Defiant represents the pinnacle of that approach, added Orson. A prototype vessel integrating all our advancements at once. The Vraxians had no frame of reference for such a development pattern. Captain Chorus turned from the viewport to face his crew. So when they encountered resistance from a single ship capable of things they thought impossible for our technological level, they reassessed the entire invasion. Lex said, nodding slowly. They thought we were decades away from quantum field technology, but the Defiant proved them wrong. A notification chimed at Dahl's console. Captain, incoming transmission from Earth Command. Priority Alpha. The main view screen activated to show Admiral Telix Rohn, Supreme Commander of Earth's Defense Forces. Her usually stoic face showed signs of both exhaustion and cautious hope. Captain Chorus, she began without preamble, what your crew accomplished at Proxima has given humanity a fighting chance. The alien retreat appears genuine. They've withdrawn from all human space. For now, Chorus qualified, but they'll be back once they've analyzed our capabilities and developed countermeasures. Agreed, said the Admiral. That's why I'm contacting you directly. Earth Command has made a decision based on the intelligence you provided. We're instituting the Defiant Initiative. Mom? Chorus questioned. We're accelerating production of vessels incorporating the Defiant's experimental systems. Every shipyard in human space will be converted to build ships based on your prototype. And you're being promoted to Commodore effective immediately. The Defiant will be the flagship of our first response fleet. Chorus exchanged glances with his crew. With all due respect, Admiral, the Defiant barely survived its encounter. Some of its systems are still theoretical at best. Maybe so, the Admiral acknowledged, but those theoretical systems are the only reason we're having this conversation. The aliens will return, Commodore. When they do, I want a fleet of Defiants waiting for them. Has the transmission ended? A somber silence fell over the bridge. The weight of responsibility settled heavily on their shoulders. They had saved humanity from immediate extinction, but in doing so, had only bought time before the next confrontation. We'll need to improve everything, Suri said finally. The quantum drive, the phase cannons, the shadow systems, all of it. And we'll need to understand our enemy better, added Orson. These fragments from their database are just the beginning. Chorus looked at each member of his crew, survivors, heroes, the first soldiers in a war that had only just begun. "Then we'd better get to work," he said simply, "because next time they won't underestimate us." 2 months after the Battle of Proxima, the newly christened TFS Defiant, now designated as a Terran fleet ship rather than a test ship, approached the coordinates of a mysterious signal detected at the edge of human space. Repairs had been completed, systems upgraded, and the crew expanded to accommodate its new role as the flagship of humanity's rapidly growing defensive fleet. Signal source holding steady, reported communications specialist all. Definitely artificial but using frequencies outside standard protocols, either deliberately disguised or alien in origin. Commodore Chorus, still uncomfortable with his new rank insignia, studied the tactical display with narrowed eyes. Could be a Vraxian trap. Tactical analysis. Lieutenant Commander Lek, recently elevated to executive officer, shook her head. No energy signatures matching known Vraxian technology. Whatever's out there, it's not them, at least not any configuration we've encountered. Dropping out of quantum space in 3, 2, 1, announced Navigator Tavros. The Defiant emerged into normal space near a massive asteroid field. Floating among the tumbling rocks is an unusual vessel, sleek and organic in design, with no visible propulsion systems or weapons arrays. It appeared almost grown rather than built, its hull resembling polished opal that shifted colors as they watched. Fascinating, breathed Science Officer Orson, already scanning the alien craft. Biological components integrated with technology. This design philosophy is completely different from Vraxian engineering. "They're hailing us," said dull surprise evident in her voice. "And they're using our frequencies and protocols." "Sir, they're speaking English." Chorus exchanged glances with Lek before nodding. "Put it through." The view screen activated to reveal a humanoid figure with iridescent skin and large compound eyes. When it spoke, its voice had a melodic, multi-tone quality that seemed impossible from a single throat. "Greetings, warriors of Earth. I am Ambassador Eccentric of the Luminary Collective. We have been observing your recent conflict with great interest." Chorus stepped forward. "I am Commodore Chorus of the Terran fleet ship Defiant. How do you know our language?" The alien made a gesture that might have been the equivalent of a smile. "We have been monitoring your transmissions for some time. Your species fascinated us." "You know the Vraxians?" asked Orson, stepping into view. "All spacefaring races in this region know of the Vraxians," replied Sindri. "They have been the dominant power for millennia, eliminating any civilization they deem a potential threat. Until now, none have successfully resisted them." Chief Engineer Zuri, join us with the view screen. "Are you saying we're the first?" "The first to force a retreat, yes. Many species have fought bravely, but none have made the Vraxians question their technological superiority. What your single vessel accomplished has sent shockwaves throughout the galactic community." Chorus processed this information carefully. "And the purpose of your contact now? To propose an alliance." Ambassador Sindri stated simply. "The Luminary Collective consists of 17 species who have survived by hiding from Vraxian detection or being deemed too primitive to threaten them. We possess technologies different from but complementary to your own, such as," prompted Chorus. "Our bio-neural computation systems are centuries beyond Vraxian capabilities. Our living ships can self-repair and adapt to changing conditions. We excel at stealth and biological integration of technology. And what would you gain from this alliance?" Lek asked, her tactical mind already calculating possibilities. "Survival," replied Sindri without hesitation. "The Vraxians will return to your worlds with greater numbers and adapted tactics. Alone, neither of our civilizations can withstand them. Together, we might stand a chance." A notification chimed at Orson's station. "Commodore, I've completed preliminary scans of their vessel. Their technology is genuine, unlike anything we've encountered. The biological components alone could revolutionize our quantum computing systems." Chorus considered the situation carefully. Earth Command had granted him significant autonomy given the Defiant's unique position, but an alien alliance was far beyond his authorization. "Ambassador Sindri, your proposal is significant and requires consultation with our leadership. However, I'm authorized to establish preliminary diplomatic relations. Would you be willing to send representatives to meet with our officials?" "Better," replied the ambassador. "I could provide immediate technical assistance. The Vraxians are already mobilizing their main battle fleets. You have less time than you realize." A chill ran through the bridge crew at these words. "How much time?" asked Chorus. "Based on our intelligence, 3 Earth months at most before their first wave arrives. They are gathering forces from across their territory. This time, they will not underestimate you." Chorus straightened his uniform and made a decision. Navigator Tavros set course for Earth. Maximum speed. He turned back to the view screen. "Ambassador Zindri, we would be honored if you would accompany us to Earth. Your knowledge of the Vraxians and your technological insights could be crucial to humanity's survival." "It would be my privilege," the ambassador responded. "The greatest weakness of the Vraxians has always been their arrogance. They cannot conceive of different species working together as equals. Perhaps that will be their downfall." As the Defiant prepared to escort the luminary vessel to Earth, a spark of hope ignited among the crew. They had been preparing for a desperate last stand against a technologically superior enemy. Now, unexpectedly, they had found allies who had been watching and waiting for this moment. The moment when someone finally stood up to the galactic bullies who had terrorized countless civilizations. "Send word to Earth Command," Chorus instructed Dole. "Tell them we're bringing guests and hope." 1 year after first contact with the Vraxians, Earth's orbital shipyards hum with unprecedented activity. A fleet of 73 Defiant-class vessels hung in formation around the blue-green planet, their hulls incorporating the strange bioneural technology of the Luminary Collective. What had begun as a desperate alliance had evolved into something neither humanity nor the Luminary had anticipated, a true symbiosis of technologies and cultures. Aboard the flagship TFS Defiant, now extensively rebuilt and enhanced, Commodore Chorus, recently promoted to Admiral, addressed the assembled commanders of what had been designated Task Force Defiance. "The Vraxian main fleet will arrive within 24 hours, he stated, gesturing to the tactical hologram displaying the incoming enemy armada. 317 vessels, including their planetary destroyers and super dreadnoughts. More firepower than they've deployed against any civilization in their recorded history." The assembled captains, a mix of humans and luminary representatives, studied the tactical display with grim determination. Among them stood the original bridge crew of the Defiant, each now commanding their own vessels within the fleet. Captain Leck, commanding the TFS Resolute, spoke first. "Their numbers are formidable, but their tactics remain predictable. The intelligence provided by the Luminary confirms they still rely on overwhelming force rather than innovation." "Precisely," agreed Ambassador Xindri, who had become the official representative of the Luminary Collective to Earth. "The Vraxians have ruled through technological superiority for so long they've lost the capacity for true adaptation. They'd merely scaled up their existing technologies rather than developing new approaches." Captain Orson, whose scientific brilliance had earned him command of the TFS Discovery, manipulated the holographic display to highlight the Vraxian flagship. Their command structure remains hierarchical and centralized. The loss of their leadership vessel would create significant confusion in their ranks. "Which is why," Admiral Chorus continued, "Operation Quantum Strike will target their command ship directly." He expanded the tactical display to show a complex battle plan. "While our main fleet engages their forward elements here and here, drawing their attention, a strike team consisting of the Defiant and 5 other vessels will execute a coordinated shadow jump directly into the heart of their formation." Captain Zuri, whose engineering genius now served aboard the TFS Inventor, pointed to a specific section of the enemy flagship. "We've identified their central command node. A concentrated quantum torpedo strike at these coordinates should disable their entire command network." Captain Tavros, whose navigational skills had earned him the experimental TFS Pathfinder, nodded in agreement. "I've calculated the precise jump coordinates. If we time the shadow jumps correctly, we'll appear simultaneously at 6 points surrounding their flagship. They won't be able to counter all of us." Captain Dahl, whose communications expertise now guided the TFS emissary, activated another section of the holographic display. "Additionally, we prepared a special transmission package incorporating luminary psychoharmonic frequencies. When broadcast at the moment of our attack, it should create confusion in their neural networks." Admiral Chorus looked at the faces of his former crew, now captains in their own right, and felt a surge of pride. They had come so far from that desperate battle at Proxima Colony. 1 year ago, a single human ship made the Vraxians question everything they thought they knew about us. He said, "Tomorrow, we show them exactly what they should have feared all along. Not just our technology, but our capacity to unite, to adapt, and to overcome impossible odds together." Ambassador Xindri stepped forward. "For thousands of years, the Luminary hid from the Vraxians, believing resistance was futile. You humans taught us otherwise. Whatever happens tomorrow, know that you have already changed the galaxy. As the briefing concluded and the captains returned to their vessels, Admiral Chorus remained on the bridge of the Defiant, gazing out at Earth below, the homeworld he had sworn to protect. Chief Medical Officer Val Nerix, one of the few original crew members still serving on the Defiant, joined him at the viewport. Thinking about how it all began, how quickly it all changed, Chorus corrected. One moment we were explorers, the next we were the only thing standing between humanity and extinction. And now we're the vanguard of an interspecies alliance that might finally break the Vraxian stranglehold on the galaxy, Nerix observed. Not bad for a test ship that wasn't supposed to see combat. A notification chimed from the tactical station. Admiral, called the officer on duty. Long-range sensors had detected the Vraxian fleet dropping out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. They'll reach Earth orbit in 22 hours. Chorus nodded, straightening his uniform. Send the fleet-wide alert. All vessels to battle stations. It's time to show the Vraxians what happens when you threaten species who refuse to go quietly into the night. As the alert sirens sounded throughout the fleet, the bioneural systems of the human luminary vessels hummed with anticipation, almost as if the ships themselves understood the significance of the coming battle. In the void of space between Mars and Jupiter, the massive Vraxian fleet appeared like a swarm of metal predators, their weapons charging as they accelerated toward Earth. Their numbers were overwhelming, their technology refined through millennia of unchallenged dominance. But waiting for them was something they had never truly faced before, a fleet born from the defiance of extinction, commanded by those who had already beaten impossible odds once before. As the final preparations were made and the fleet moved into formation, Admiral Chorus gave the order that would echo through human and luminary history for generations to come. All ships execute Operation Quantum Strike. Today we fight not just for our worlds, but for every species that has ever faced extinction at Vraxian hands. Today, defiance becomes our legacy. The quantum drives of 73 vessels activated simultaneously, their shadows stretching across the stars as humanity and their new allies prepared to write a new chapter in galactic history, one where the bullies of the cosmos finally learned what happened when they picked a fight with the wrong species. The endless night of space lit up with the opening salvos of a battle that would determine the fate of not just Earth but countless worlds across the galaxy. And at the heart of it all was the ship that had started all, the Defiant, leading the charge once more into legend.